Okay, so I don't know who this next guest is. She's very disruptive.
She's a beautiful lady.
She's definitely a beautiful lady.
Thanks.
Christine Griffey, welcome back
Hi.
for the third year running. You're
Yeah.
one of the only people that's done 3 years in a row. Well, you have, I know.
Cute.
Well, you've stepped it up a little bit this year, haven't you?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Putting in a little bit of extra effort.
Why didn't you volunteer to do 24 hours?
She's got baby
So I've got a
after.
4-month-old baby to look after, who isn't here, and I feel like you've like. I feel
Oh,
like everyone,
no.
everyone
Always
was
looking
looking
forward
forward
to a
to. I specifically said I wouldn't bring him in this morning, but I'll bring him in later.
Henry's
Yeah,
coming
well,
in later.
we'll bring him in later.
Henry's
Okay,
coming in
we'll-
later. Everyone needs a hug with Henry.
Yeah.
Okay, so Christine's been on. So firstly, introduce yourself,
I hate that.
and you've
bit.
got a new. Well, you'll have a new layer of your introduction this year. Most important layer ever.
Yeah, so I did. Yes, obviously I listened to KD, so I'll start with that. So I'm Christine. I'm a mum, and I'm also CEO of Silvertone and Ship Momentum.
Nice. How does it feel to say I'm a mum first?
Still really weird. I still look at him and like I don't know. It's strange that he's ours. I guess it still hasn't quite sunk in. But
That's weird.
yeah, very strange.
And motherhood really suits you, though.
Does it?
Mm.
It's strange because obviously we'd never planned to have kids.
Oh, did you not?
No, I never thought I wanted. I never thought I wanted
Pleasant
children.
surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Pleasant surprise.
and I never thought I was overly maternal. But people tell you that you like,
It happens to you.
yeah, and you just know what to do. And I don't know if that necessarily happens for everyone, but with me, yeah, I guess it kind of did.
I was going to say,
It does. It just kicks in, and
Yeah.
you just
Powerhouse.
figure it out.
Fixer of everything.
Yeah,
So are you enjoying it? Let's go from...
I do. Yes, I love it. I do love it. I miss sleep. I have to say, I'm
Oh,
not
well,
gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah.
4 months of not a full night's sleep, and even the couple of nights, because we've been quite good at, like we will leave him with people. That was quite important for us. I think that he spends time with other people. He gets comfortable around other people. I know that some people really struggle to leave their babies for quite a while, which I understand. It's not an easy thing to do. But yeah, the couple of nights that he has stayed with someone else, it's been because we've had an event to do, which therefore means that I still haven't gone to bed until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So that extra bit of sleep
doesn't really
hasn't
happen, does
happened
it?
yet.
So then, how has that affected you two, really? It's changed. I know you were previously a dad.
You prick.
Well, no, what I mean by that, I'm not going to ask both of you. I'll ask
Therapy session.
Yeah,
now.
no, but what I mean by that,
across the
because
room.
what I mean by that is, if you weren't planning to have
No.
children of your own, how has that changed your relationship between you two?
So I think when we found out, which was 13th February last year, literally remember to the day,
Yeah.
we sat and spoke for a good couple of hours about what it would mean for us to have a baby. And I think that was all very theoretical, obviously, because we'd never done it before. So we sat and we looked at what our life was like then and the things that we wanted to do and how it would affect that, I guess. And we decided that we could still do everything that we wanted to do. Obviously, we would have to adapt and make some slight changes, but we'd make it work and we could still
So
everything that we wanted
I
to.
think that's an important question to ask because for that reasons, your goals and your aspirations, do they change when you've had children? Of course, and like you said, that you adapt now, don't you? I think that's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come together.
We've got some creepers in the corner
have
of
got
the
some
room.
creepers.
Where's he got?
Yeah.
Where you got?
What have you dropped?
what dropped? Oh, hang on. Did
Got
it?
a credit card.
Is it slide?
Sorry, we got a.
Hang on.
Oh, mate.
Fixer everything for you.
I thought you were giving it all away.
Don't show your number.
I was going to use it for CPSL mine donations. Yeah.
He's just showing the camera his
Love
card
you,
number.
bye. Thanks for coming.
It was important for us to have that conversation, I think.
Yeah.
And actually, because, like I say, we've been together a long time.
How many years have you? 13 years.
13 years, just.
Same
Yeah,
more.
13
Although we
years,
didn't remotely celebrate our anniversary this year.
I know what happened there.
We sort of don't
It
either.
comes and goes, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
we
it comes
just,
and
the thing is, we get to spend every day together.
goes. Yeah.
Literally.
Um,
We do everything together.
Yeah, but I think because it was never kind of on the cards for us, it was important for us to have that conversation. We'd always said that if it happened, we were in a strong enough relationship and we would.
It wasn't that we didn't want kids either,
No.
was it? It was like we originally thought, well, because obviously I've got Flynn.
Yeah.
They just weren't in the plan.
Yeah, and we always said like if we were, go into. It might be later in life, and we might adopt, for
Yeah.
instance.
Well, yeah, people used
Yeah.
to say to me, because I think women get that quite a lot. I think it's not so bad now, but I think there's still this expectation that women should want children.
Yeah.
And they should probably want them at quite an early age. And people used to say to me, well, what if you decide later in life that you want kids and then you can't because you're too old to have them? So, well, then if we're that determined to have them, then we'll find another way to have them,
Alternatives.
i.e. adopt. There's plenty of children out there that don't have a loving family. There would have been plenty of other ways that we could have had children if that was the case.
Yeah.
But obviously it happened and he's here. And I do look at him sometimes and think, wow, we
It's
were
amazing.
maybe never going to have a child. And I do now get the question of, are you going to have another one?
No.
He's 4 months old.
Yeah,
so
give
I
it a
think,
chance.
yeah, so I get served, as you do now, because obviously my life is taken over by Henry. I do get, like, my socials and stuff. I see all these crazy baby
The
videos
algorithm.
and all that sort of stuff. And I saw one the other day, and she was saying that until her baby turned 2, she could not fathom having another one. And then one day something just
Triggers.
triggered, and yep, now I'm ready to have one. At the minute, absolutely not. I could not imagine having another one.
I had twins.
Oh, so I have no idea how people
How?
do 2
Do you know
at
honestly?
the same time, let alone
Do
more
it,
than
yeah.
that.
Just like yourselves, that's teamwork.
Yeah.
On with it. You just got to do it, innit?
But even
Yeah.
we're not together all of the time. Like, you can't, like, we spend a lot of time together, but we're not together all of the time. I can't imagine having 2 babies the exact same age, needing the same thing at the exact same time, and been able to,
They're
like,
called baby bouncers. They're brilliant. There's one time when I was so sleep deprived that there was time when I was putting my feet on the bouncers, actually rocking them in bed, my feet like that. For about 10 minutes. I thought they were really quiet. I got off sleep, looked down, they'd been in bed in the cot for about 20 minutes.
They weren't in the
I put
bouncers
them to bed, put them to sleep.
You do just do stuff.
it's
like that, don't
interesting though. It's a very what I find is it's a very functional tired.
Yes.
It's very strange, and I think it kind of shows how functional you can be off on a few hours sleep every night, because you do what you need to do. So, like, I've learnt, and I feel like I've got very good at, when he wakes up, I'm awake. For whatever he needs, I'm awake and I can do it. And then as soon as he's back to sleep again, I can fall asleep with, like, the click of my fingers.
Yeah.
I was always quite good at sleeping.
I'm like that.
But
with
not-
kids.
Always quite good at sleeping. Always, mate. Honestly, always quite good at sleeping. Like within 10 minutes' notice, done. Sleep.
It was a
Just
film.
sleeps.
It was when I used to watch a film.
Carly, sorry, I meant to make Carly there as well. That's
Carly.
very important.
Yeah,
Something to start
well,
with, yeah.
love you, Carly.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
great.
and Lisa, bless her. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Lisa's
yeah.
obviously a new mum too.
Yeah.
Same sort of time.
Yeah.
How old's
little bit
yours,
after,
Lisa?
I think. Yeah,
Maybe
not long after.
month
A few
after?
weeks after, maybe.
I can also say that obviously what you mentioned previously in the live ones you've done here about your anxiety. I think you at the present time you ooze confidence. You might be hiding it, but you're doing it very well if you are. But what I mean by that, I know because obviously people do hide anxiety like I do sometimes. But right now, since becoming a mother, I saw you at the Poultry Foundation ball. You've got. I think you've come up with confidence wise. I think
I definitely don't feel like I'm struggling with anxiety. I think one of the most interesting things about becoming a mum is the amount of different emotions that you can feel in a day or a week.
Yeah.
And I think I wouldn't say I'm necessarily anxious, but there are things where, like, I don't know, for an hour you might overly worry that, I don't know, fed
them too much.
They haven't burped for an hour or something. Or like,
it's like
they've not quite moved as much
Yeah.
as they did before. And it's not so, when he was younger, newborn, you literally watch everything.
Yeah.
And if they've slept,
I wake
for,
up and like.
I mean, Alex
every
does
other
still,
night, I'm
he
like,
does still wake up
where
in a panic.
Where the fuck is the baby?
Yeah, he does still wake up in a panic.
I wake
but-
up panicking like every night, pretty much.
But I think it gets easier as they get older. He's
Yeah.
at a lovely age now where he's a little bit more. He can support himself a bit more. He's that bit stronger.
It's funny, man.
He smiles at
It's so funny.
everyone all the time. He's very interactive now.
Well, the thing is, he's been in like. It's just like to your question originally. Like, it's just we just had him, and he's just born into this mad village life that we live. Obviously, we've got such a big.
We're extremely lucky.
We're very community. We're lucky to
Yeah.
have the community. You got like people like yourself in our community.
But
We're very lucky, aren't we?
I think it's an amazing feeling to know that, like, anyone that we see will ask about him, and I know that tends to happen when people have kids, but you just see there's like a genuine love for him and a care for him from so many people, and that's amazing. I don't think you could probably want any more for your kid than just.
And he got to
love
be
them.
he got to be the youngest anthropist ever.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So he was taking him down.
Love that.
How old was he when we went down to Eden
About
Project?
6 weeks. It was
6
beginning
weeks.
of November, so yeah, he would have
So
been.
you're
about
talking
6
about
weeks.
resilience. So this is a mum, right? So Christine, on the day Henry was born, we were in the office. She's sending invoices at 11 o'clock. She's, having team meetings at 12. This is 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 days early.
2 days early. 2 days before due date.
Crazy.
In the office. We go. It's hilarious, right? She's just in denial about being
Dan
in labour.
kept
So
telling
she was
me I was in
walking up and
labour.
down the corridor, roaming around. Dan, old Jones Dan, was going, Christine, are you all right over there? You all right over there? You tell the story.
So so it started at about 11, and I feel like Anastasia had been a little bit on edge for like the couple of weeks in the run up to it. Like any time I made a noise, she was a bit like, "Oh, he likes everything."
Yeah.
And about 11 o'clock, I was like, "Oh, that feels like a little bit of a cramp." I was like, "We'll be fine." So I kind of sat there for like half an hour.
Working.
I sat there for about half an hour. My mum had rang me because I remember her saying, "You didn't tell me that anything was happening." It happened when we were going to the hospital.
Yeah.
But I'd spoken to her on the phone. I think Wendy had actually said that Wendy, who runs the ironing shop, I think I'd spoken to her on the phone, and I was supposed to be meeting her on the Friday. And she said, Daniel said that we're not meeting on the Friday because you're going to have your baby today. So Daniel actually
Preempted.
Oh, wow.
Daniel
Yeah.
this was before, but I was like, I feel like a little bit of a cramp and whatever. And then I was like, I'll just time them, just for like shits and gigs. Like I'm sure it's nothing. And it got to about half an hour, and they were happening every couple of minutes, lasting maybe 30 to 45 seconds. I was just breathing through them. And then I mentioned it to Anastasia, and then Dan said to me, he was like, how long are they lasting and how frequently are they? So I told him, and he was like, pretty certain you're in labour. I was like, no,
Contractions.
it'll just be like Braxton Hicks or something. They're really not that painful. And then I'd have one, and I'd kind of breathe through it, and like I'd look over at Dan and Anastasia, and they'd be looking at me. I was like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's really not that painful. Like
Christine's gonna blow.
and then we went over to Happy Days.
We went out some lunch.
The market was on, so we went over and I got some chips.
Who did we bump into?
Stood chatting to Ian.
Yeah, we said, oh
Cochran.
yeah, McLaughlin.
And Ben and Rhiannon.
Yeah.
I stood there chatting away, and I'm kind of stood there like, I'm kind of getting a bit uncomfortable now. I ate my chips, and then it increased, and then I was kind of walking around the office like, yeah, no, this maybe
different.
does feel like more. And then Alec, we had a midwife appointment at like 1:20.
So what do I do? So I ring her. So I ring the midwife. Like,
We were leaving the office anyway, so Alex pulled the car round, and Anastasia carried my stuff down for me, and I didn't say anything to her at the time, but my waters broke as I was leaving the office. She walked me across the street, and I got in the car and I said to Alex, either I've wet myself or my waters are broken. We have to go to hospital. So we popped home, and then went to the
I
hospital.
love that. Popped home.
We had to
yeah.
when I even got changed and stuff. And then I rang the hospital whilst you were driving on the way up there. They were like, oh yeah, come in, go to the day assessment unit, and we'll check you out, and then probably send you home. And it was the worst drive of my life. Got to hit just to a point in Tinchbrook. I said to Alex, do not let them send me home.
No.
I cannot do this journey again. And we didn't go to the day
She was,
assessment
like, in
unit.
pain at that point.
They wheeled me up to the labour ward. 2 o'clock. Yeah, you've got 6-7 hours, and 5 o'clock he was.
He was here.
3 hours in, out, done.
It's amazing. So you mentioned about also working right up to having him. How's it now? As in, obviously he's here. He's 4 months old.
Yeah, 4
4
months.
months. 4
Yeah,
months
4
yesterday.
months old.
Yeah.
So how are you as is it CEO? Apologies. So,
Yeah.
of a company. So where are you with that now? What's your priorities about going back? And
So everyone asked me how
What's the
maternity.
priorities about going? How's your maternity leave, Christine?
Everyone asked me how maternity leave's going. That's
what?
not really a thing.
When did that happen?
so you've gone straight back to work.
So, not necessarily.
in directorship.
Yeah,
Things
so I'm at
key,
home a lot
different
more.
Differentiator.
Obviously, I'm CEO of Silvertone, but we've got Nanny in that business who she runs the day-to-day of that business.
With
She's
Wendy.
absolutely phenomenal. Wendy runs the ironing shop day-to-day. I have very minimal, like with the odd thing that they need to run past me, the odd decision that they need help making. Other than that, extremely hands-off. Them two absolutely smash running their businesses. So I have very little to do with them. And that I actually built up towards before having the baby. With Wendy's been doing the ironing shop for years, but with Silvertone, over the last, probably since early summer, like spring, summertime,
You really gave the nanny the
I started
push.
handing over more to Nanny, and I mean, she's
Just a
she's
machine.
yeah.
Well, thanks to your leadership development.
That's what I was about to say about that. It must be about the people that you trust, the people you've employed, and now, like you said, how you trained.
Yeah.
So
Finding the right people is important, and it's not always easy. And I think you can make mistakes with that.
Of course, you can. Yeah.
It's the scariest thing about employing people, especially when it comes to that sort of role. Because you have to take that step back and let them do it. And I'm so bad at it.
She's terrible at it.
I'm really bad at letting go of control. So Wendy
Because
eventually,
she gives a fuck.
yeah, Wendy eventually took it, and Nanny eventually took it. They would just,
Get out of the way, Christine.
And I then accepted that I make mistakes, loads. Them two probably make significantly less mistakes than what I ever used to, because I was focusing on multiple businesses, whereas they get to focus on just the one. So yeah, I think it's just accepting that they're absolutely fine, and I have to move out of the way.
I was going to say, for you doing it for so many years, how does it feel to be a step back? I know obviously it's great being a new mum and everything, and it's a whole different role, but how are you finding it stepping back?
It's a shift. I'm still working on stepping back from that. I guess I kind of only recently stepped up and then
It was a bit of a
stepped back
nightmare.
again.
Right?
And
It was a nightmare for me, quite frankly, because when she took the CEO, obviously
I mean, definitely don't feel sorry for him.
don't feel sorry for me. Absolutely not.
No.
Like, I'm the problem most of the time in everything. Definitely.
He says that I'm bad at getting out of the way. He's terrible.
I am a nightmare, man.
I bet you are.
He's not
Yeah.
good at getting out of the way.
I like to hunt, man, and when I see, I got to go. Anyway, so Shift Momentum, obviously, one of the projects. So Shift Momentum is the most entrepreneurial business consultancy in Cambridgeshire. It's definitely top dog in the town. And we built it that way together, collectively, over years of lots of different people being involved. And one of the projects that it did was the Region of Learning project, which is working with young people, which obviously sparked me into action, which is why I stepped down from Shifties and everything else that's going on. And that's why Inspire to Ignite exists and everything else. I got hooked on that energy to work with people like KD you met earlier. You can see why you get hooked on that. Then obviously we then made the arrangement that, okay, well, Alex, you go and build Inspire to Ignite.
Yep.
I realised that I needed to change the infrastructure of the town to resolve that problem. So then I've got to do S&I, I've got to do that. And then Christine will take Shift Momentum into a new space to focus on consultancy. And then obviously baby was coming, but we'd already made those decisions.
Yeah.
So if we're realistically, we're still in that kind of transition.
Still figuring out
Which is fine, we're comfortable with
yeah.
it.
I think maternity leave is non-existent from like everything. Like I say, my role is very different for each business. At the minute, the plan.
Well, it's just interesting.
I love you, Sarah.
Sorry,
there's some lovely comments.
There's a comment just up for everyone about the juggling as well of being a mum. I think it's a top one up there now, on top of Evelyn. There we go, the glow. Yeah.
Oh well, that was your old.
Yes, I actually saw Emma as I was.
Lovely. Yeah,
coming in, as I was rushing into Cross Keys because I was.
She was
late.
your.
She was my tutor for 2 years at CRC when I did beauty therapy. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of a really important questions to ask him because
I'm glad you. Yeah.
So it is. So I mean, we had this conversation over Christmas. So like I say,
it's a reality, isn't it? Right.
but completely stopping hasn't happened.
No.
Same as in the run up to having him.
Yeah.
You know, when are you going to slow down? When are you going to slow down? I actually think it worked
She
for
would have been
me.
a nightmare.
I think you slowed down about 8 hours before you gave birth, didn't you?
Yeah. So it worked. It worked for me, working right up until I had
you
him.
did take time after. Like you were good to yourself.
Yeah. Maybe a couple of weeks.
We've had some, like, in complete honesty, we've had like some real, like, we've taken our time away. Mm-hmm. So one of the things we talked about last time we were on here was the importance of, as a relationship, having those conversations when there's a baby to be had or whatever, but also just proactively. And we did our digital detox at Christmas, and we had conversations to say, well, hello, Christine.
Yeah, I was going to say,
And it's
90%, it takes your time.
But it's for exactly that. So there's guilt that comes with. There's guilt when I'm not dedicating all of my time and my focus to the businesses like I once did.
Yeah.
And then there's guilt when I'm not dedicating all of my time to Henry. So there's that. There is it's feeling torn and never feeling like you're. And I used to feel it with the businesses. Never feeling like you're giving that one thing your whole attention and focus. So we have had conversations since Christmas. We will be having. There's things happening within the team where I hope to get shift to a point in the very near future where it operates like the Iron Shop and Silvertone do, where I can have a very top level, hands off
directorship
role in it, and the people within the team are capable of driving that forward. There's still some work that needs to be done with shift because I didn't get it to that point before I had Henry.
You only had like 5 days or something.
But
and I keep putting new projects in the pipeline.
But it's getting there.
Again, I'm going to go back to my original point. I've never seen you this confident.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Agree. And I'm going to put you on the spot quickly.
Oh, fine.
No, because I think it's important. It's important. What do you love about Christine? So I think it's important for her to hear this as well.
Resilience.
Yeah.
Resilience. I think. So someone just said there. Evelyn. It's really important we have good role model female leaders. I think female leaders are better than male leaders. I'll put it out there, 100%, especially in a world where we need natural empathy, trust and kindness. And I just personally feel that majority of the time, female leaders tend to, through the life cycles of the way things go, they just naturally are better leaders. And I don't think I know a better female leader than Christine.
Amazing.
And I think there's a resilience that encapsulates. I've seen Christine on her arse. Like, I've seen her in severe anxiety. Like, I'm leaving the house, and she was one of my share because she shared it on here last year.
Yeah.
Don't know what the fuck's going on, crying for no reason. I don't say that lightly.
I actually think Lara described it really well earlier. It's like someone's chasing you, and like you feel like you need to get away from something. But you don't necessarily know what it is.
Yeah.
The way she described that earlier was that's what it's like.
And the life we choose to lead. We choose to lead the life we lead. We could go to a beach tomorrow. Yeah. We could sell up. Yeah. I could run it. Me and Rico, you saw what we did at 1 o'clock this morning. Yeah. We can make 10 grand in 5 minutes. Yeah, you don't want to watch it back. We can do that. We can do that. But the life we choose to lead is a life with community. We both care about our communities. We both care about people. We both have incredibly close-knit relationships with people around us. Like the people we're friends with, we're really friends with them.
Yes.
So that requires a fuckload of resilience because people don't always work for everyone. So you got put up with me.
Well, yeah, you deserve a medal for that.
But I'm extremely proud of the woman, Christine.
And I'm just in the time now, so we're going to have to go. But again, I'm going to say one more question for you.
Oh God!
No, just say how's she start again? How's she getting on with motherhood?
Oh, incredible!
There you go.
I've never seen it.
Again, it's really important for.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it like it. I saw it mostly when we were away because that's where I saw. Because we again early and we've got a minute. We can go. Sam can come straight. Is it Sam next?
Yeah.
Sam can come and sit. Sam, come and sit on the seat. We can have a merging transition.
Done.
I'm obsessive in the way that I approach things. I'm all in or I'm all out. I'm in or out.
Yeah.
So I can't do both things. Christine can be, there's this classic Sir Ken Robinson thing, great TED talk. So Ken Robinson, How Do Schools Kill Creativity? And he talks about, and it's just really silly, but he talks about multitasking, saying that, you know, he used the example, if he's in the kitchen, he's cooking, then the door's shut, the phone's off, and don't talk to me. I'm frying an egg in here.
Right,
he says.
okay.
Christine's in the kitchen, she's painting the ceiling, she's doing that, she's doing this, she's doing this, she's doing this. So she can go, I can see baby over there having a sleep and laptop over here, boom, 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 boom. When baby's awake and that's the focus and whatever else, I can't do that. I have to transit. It takes me 2 hours to transition from one thing to another because I've got environment, I've got to sort my nut out. There's all this stuff going on. We had these conversations. Said, look, I'll go finish there. I'll finish the game.
Yeah.
Let me go finish the game, and then we can go and enjoy. Because I didn't have the chance. I didn't have the chance with my firstborn.
No.
I didn't have a chance. No. So I do want to fight to do that, and we'll do that this year.
Again, I just think it's important for a man to say how much.
Oh, incredible, incredible.
And as a mother, it brings confidence.
Different
Even though you
level,
don't need
different
it.
level of thing.
Even though you don't need it.
No, I
You're
know
doing
she don't need
amazing.
it. She's got me
No.
fucking crying it.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
I didn't say anything. It's Luke that's asked the question.
Hey, sorry, I'm a co-host.
Right, cool. Right, we got to get a picture. You got to sign the t-shirt.
Change
which is
colour.
Looking awesome. And what
Oh,
colour are
yeah,
you
didn't
going
I?
to go for?
Didn't I set it at green this
Again?
morning at like 5 o'clock? Or someone else? Has it been like set? Has it back at green?
It's been going loads.
I don't
I
know
said it
what's,
at green
I
at
don't know
5
what's
o'clock
going
this
on
morning
after.
whilst I was
And
cooking.
by the way, you should go look at those comments afterwards.
Yes, both of you.
I've
actually.
seen. I was looking at some of them, but I had to look away because I'm a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
And it's that time of day.
I knew a break, yeah.
break me.
I knew it'd be this conversation as well.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you everyone for that engagement on there and for showing Christine some love because, yeah, beautiful.